This is the program put together to ensure that we have a total well-being. Talking about, the description, definition of what health truly is, not just merely the absence of disease or infirmity, but a total makeup that is healthy and sound. My name is Obi Chukwemeka Uti, welcoming you on board the program this beautiful Saturday morning. Today we're looking at a day that has been set aside to address a particular issue that is not only affecting the women folk, but by extension our society at large. It is not actually today, but February 6th. It's a day set aside globally and termed the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. And that is our focus on the program today. What is female genital mutilation? What are the complications that could arise? What are the symptoms? What are the issues around this particular act? Is it cultural? Is it acceptable in our society? What is the world? Why is the world so concerned about it? Why is there need to put an end to this particular practice? That is our focus today on the program. And joining us to help us understand better what these issues are is the Executive Secretary, Ondo State Agency Against Gender-Based Violence, Barrister Mrs. Bolanle Afolabi. Thank you very much for coming on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Great. All right, let's go quickly into it. A lot of people hear this big grammar, female genital mutilation. Could we bring it down? What exactly is this?
Okay, thank you. Female genital mutilation is called female circumcision. I know that many people are, they adhere to that. So in a simple form, it is female circumcision. And then, female genital mutilation or female circumcision is a procedure that involves injuring or altering the female genitalia. So it's cutting the clitoris, and there are so many different types of these procedures that are being carried out in order to see that the practice is effected. There we have about 3 types. Really we have that of the clitoral dermectomy, we have that of excision. We also have infibulation and other procedures that are being carried out in this act of female circumcision. So it is an harmful practice.
Okay.
And it is recognized globally as a violence, as a violation of human rights, violation of reproductive rights of women, violation of their health and mental rights.
All right. You said it's a procedure.
Yes.
When people hear procedure, there's that tendency to want to associate it with medical procedure. Is it a professional medical procedure, or how would you describe this procedure?
The procedure is, in a way, it's something that involves medical. We can term it medical, because it's like surgical. Cutting. When it involves cutting part of the body, especially the genital, the female genital, you can see that it's like in medical in a way. But the reason for this act is of no medical value.
Okay.
Yes, it's of no medical value.
No medical
value at all.
Even though it's medical in procedure.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. What are the signs that one would see, is it even possible for a female to be genitally mutilated without her even knowing it?
There is no way the person involved, the victim, will not know, because it's a very painful procedure.
Okay.
Very painful procedure. So, whether even if it's a child of some days, 8 days old, the child will feel the pain. If it's an adult, the adult will feel the pain. It's a very painful procedure.
Okay.
Yes.
Then you said if it's a child, what is the prevalence rate, and at who are the age range that are more susceptible to this? Who are those that at what age is it really carried out?
Okay. The way it is being done is that when a girl child is born, maybe after the naming ceremony, after about 7 or 8 days, they can take her through that procedure. Then in some communities, they do it when the girl has reached a kind of adulthood, like puberty age.
Okay.
When she's ready to go into marriage.
Okay.
So these are the periods they normally carry out this procedure.
Okay, so sometimes as young as 7 days old,
yes,
8 days
yes.
old child.
Some of us that are grown up now, we passed through that procedure when we were about 8 days old. Yes.
I can imagine what that child would have to go through. All right. Now, what are the symptoms and signs that they will see, or people around could see, to know that something was tampered with in this girl child or this woman?
Okay. First, before people around can see any sign, maybe in fact it is only somebody who is very close to the victim that we know, apart from the people who engage in the act, like the parents who submitted their children, their girl children and the girl child to do that. When it's an adult, the husband will know. There's been somebody who is already married or who is about to go into marriage, apart from the family members that we know. Then the communities too, where the girl grew up, we also know that is being done. Because in some communities, it is allowed. It is being done because they want to show the fact that that girl can only be accepted in that community, except if she has gone through that procedure.
So if she has not gone through,
gone through that procedure, she's not yet accepted in that community. Then it's also to show a kind of honor to the family where the girl was born, and then to show their class and status, that my daughter has gone through circumcision. It's a kind of pride and honor to their families. Yes, it is celebrated. So, and then if you have not done it, if a girl child has not done it, she cannot go into marriage in some communities. So for that girl to go into marriage, that circumcision must be done. Wow. So these are the reasons why they do it in a certain community, and everybody will be aware, that it has been done, because the girl cannot go. It's a full woman accepted in that community. So aside from that, there are also mental health complications that a victim of female genital mutilation can experience. One of such complications is retention of urination. She finds it difficult to urinate. Yes, and then in the process of carrying out this act, there can be injury to other tissues around the genitalia. Yes, and also there's increased risk of HIV and AIDS. The victim can be infected with HIV and AIDS because of the the equipment used to carry out this act. Yes, she can also be infected with other diseases, STI, pelvic infections, vaginal infections, uterus infections. Then there can be a growth, a cyst in the genital area. Yes. Then there is high risk of this fistula, the that victim can also develop that. There's usually complications during childbirth. She can experience complications during childbirth
As a result of
as a result of this
procedure.
circumcision. Yes. Then there's decreased lubrication during intercourse. You know, it is the clitoris that helps to lubricate the vagina so that it becomes easy, you know, for the male organ to penetrate. So when it is cut or removed completely, it becomes very difficult. There will be no lubrication. That is why such women, they don't desire sexual intimacy. And even when it is done, they don't enjoy it. They don't enjoy it at all. And then there is also the issue of depression, postnatal depression. Then we have psychological problems as sexual problems that may develop in the process. Then it can also affect the menstrual cycle. It can halt or cause a dysfunction of the menstrual cycle. Then you talk about the issue of trauma, because going through that process is traumatic. Then finally, you have the issue of infertility that can occur. There are so many women who have undergone this procedure, and today they have issues with infertility.
The implications are huge. The complications that could arise are huge. And, you know, you wonder why people... I know you mentioned quite a few, but I'd like you to really focus now on the myths and superstitions around this female circumcision.
Okay. Yeah. You see, this practice is being done globally. It's not restricted to Africa.
Okay.
In fact, there are about 30 African countries that are practicing this. You know, even in the Western Europe, not in America, Asia. So that's so it's global. But the only thing is that the prevalence has really declined.
Okay.
As a result of, you know, sensitization, what we're doing now, and then legal framework that has really penalized the practice. But you see, when we still have this practice going on, there are myths surrounding it. And one of it is that they believe that if a woman is not circumcised, she will be promiscuous, you know, and that she will not be able to, nobody will be able to tame her. So because of that, they feel that, okay, it is
wild.
Yeah. So it is when we just have to do this, when we circumcise her, she'll be able to moderate, you know, her lifestyle.
She'll be tamed.
But it's
more
a
like
myth.
taming her.
It's a reason that is not tenable. Yes, it's not
Neither
tenable.
is it scientifically proven.
It's not scientifically proven. So it's not really acceptable. And another thing is that it is perceived that if a lady, a girl, goes through that procedure, she's clean. You know, it's a myth.
Purity.
Yeah, you know, she's purified. You know, it's a myth. And then it's a right in some communities that must be done. You know, for that lady to pass into that stage of womanhood, it's a right that is being performed in that community, and everybody believes that it must be done. That right must be performed. It's a kind of a norm. Then they do it also to show their status. You know, it's a myth. And then they also see it as a protection to the family. That if our women, our girls go through this procedure, it's a kind of protection. It's a myth. And then I say there is also see it as a thing of pride or honor to family. But some of them even perceive it to be a kind of religious observation. You know, something that must be observed. But of course, in the real sense of it, there is no religion that approves female genital mutilation.
Okay. And you know, especially in Africa, being very religious people, and the fact that we believe, you know, in our supreme being, and we want to please our God, there's that tendency to want to really associate it with that, and then you find more people willing to actually go through the process, sadly. All right, who are those who carry out this procedure?
Okay.
Are they doctors, medical professionals, or?
The people who are actually in this act, they are the midwives. Those who help to deliver, during child labor.
Okay.
Then you have some medical personnel.
During labor for
During
a woman
labor,
who wants
yes,
to deliver?
they are midwives.
Okay.
You must also have, and these midwives, most of them, they are not literate.
Okay.
These traditional birth attendants, and even some midwives that are read, they also indulge in this. But I know that for some years now, as a result of a lot of advocacy and sensitization, I'm quite aware that most of the midwives have stopped this practice. But we are still left with the traditional birth attendants, and we'll be talking to them.
All right, let's talk about the prevalence rate in Nigeria, and then precisely in those states, because some people might think, oh, this thing is far away from us, it's not happening here anymore, and what have you. What's the prevalence rate?
Okay, you see, before you can even generate that, there must be reports. But unfortunately,
we do not have statistics.
We do not have statistics because people don't even report. They do it in their closet. They do it secretly, and they don't come out. And even people who are victims do not even report. So it's very difficult to generate the prevalence. But we know that it has reduced. It has reduced because there were times the people were doing it all over the communities, and then because people, they spoke against it, and there was a move by government to ensure that that practice is curtailed. Okay. And that is why we have a legal framework in our state. Even in Nigeria, there is a law, prohibiting female genital mutilation, and then we have same in our state. So we have been telling people we have a law in the state penalizing this act, and when they hear you go to prison, 4 years imprisonment, they so it's better you tell people around you if you know that see someone who is still indulging in this practice. It is risky because the moment you are apprehended, you are prosecuted, the person goes to jail.
All right, this sensitization has been going on for years now.
Yes.
Is it not worrisome that up until now we do not have any form of statistics to say this is what we met on ground when we started this advocacy, and after so many years, this is what we have achieved in terms of, because it will kind of give you a focus to where else to look, to, other communities to focus on, to find out, have details about, because normally in other climes, in the Western climes, that's what would have been done. Yeah. But why are we finding it difficult to do that here?
Yeah, you see, our country or our states, we are still developing. It's not as if we don't really have statistics. The other time we are looking at what we have on ground. We're looking at, okay, maybe about 4.something% of these reports of these acts. But we discovered that for about 5 years down the line, it has reduced. But the problem is that people hide.
Okay. People
hide to do this. And you need to get information. It's very important. Before you can get data of an occurrence of any health or events, you must get information. It's just like the work of police investigation and all the rest.
Or journalism.
Yes, or journalism. You need to get information. That people must tell you, okay, we discovered that somewhere there, one woman is involved, one traditional birth attendant is involved in this, and they give you reports. It is then you can collate and get data But you see
So
now,
the people have not really keyed into it
exactly.
in terms of putting a stop to this act.
So
the
we are trying. Yes, the reportage is very low.
Very low.
The reportage is low. So, but we know that if somebody has not come up to tell you this, or the victim herself comes up, you will not know. So what we are doing is to continue to talk to people. Then we try to let them know, please, give us information. We need information. If you see anybody doing it, contact us. Let us know. But you see our people in Africa, the way we are, I don't know. People don't want to talk about anything. They see evil like this, they just take away their eyes. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to say, I don't know anything about it too. Even when it is happening in their presence.
They look
and
away.
This is bad.
And that's why we're putting a program like this
bad.
together. Because like our mantra here is, when you see something, say something.
Say something.
It's very important that if you see something happening around you and it doesn't all go well with you, especially when you know it's going against and define the rights of that person, rights to quality life and that.
Yes.
We must be willing to say something. And if you don't say something, then that person might not get help, that community might not get help. And that's why we're doing this as well today. All right, if you were to compare, because we need to let people understand if there are really benefits, because like you said, there are some benefits that they think that they're deriving from this act. And then the worst part is the social status thing you mentioned. But if you were to compare a girl child or a woman who was circumcised versus a girl child or a woman who wasn't, genitally mutilated, will there be a difference in them?
Yes, a lot of difference.
Okay.
You see, a girl child who was circumcised might develop all of this or any of these problems associated that I've already mentioned. We have some women now who are going through infertility as a result of this. Some women are having infections, continuous infections as a result of this. Right from the moment that thing has been done. Up till now, I have a very close friend who disclosed to me that anytime she uses any toilet apart from her own
At home.
anywhere, whether it is clean or whatever, she must develop infection. And it's as a result of the circumcision that has been with her like that right from her when she was young. So she's still going through it. So, and other complications, that can arise, like I've mentioned. You may have difficulty, and it's not something that will happen that it will go. It's something
Perhaps for the
it's
rest
something
of their lives.
that can continue, and they will have to, go through it for the rest of their lives. So there are so many complications that can happen. Unlike a woman who did not go through it at all. For example, such a woman will have it easy, sexually with her spouse. It will be easy. She will enjoy it, because another problem is that the girl might not even have orgasm. There was a man who called me. We were doing something similar like this.
Okay.
And when it was phoning time, the man called and said, all what I've been saying is true. That what he's facing in his family is exactly what I was saying then. That up till now, he doesn't enjoy sex with his wife, because the woman will she doesn't respond, and it's because of this thing. So such a thing is affecting families. But for a woman who has not gone through it, she's okay. Even during child, because it helps in labor, in childbirth, the child will come out easily. But meanwhile, the myths that people have is that it can affect the child. That when the child is coming out, the prepuce, the clitoris, can injure the child. Whereas it's not true. It's not true. It helps the child to come out easily because there is lubrication generated by the clitoris that easily, brings the baby out. So all these are issues that raise concern, and we must let our people know that there is a lot of danger inherent in this practice.
This evil practice of female circumcision. All right, you're listening to Health Check on Orange 94.5 FM. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, Health Check continues. Please stay with us. Don't go away.